exploring the dark side of human nature. In the endless labyrinth of human consciousness lies a realm shrouded in shadows, a territory seldom explored yet profoundly influential. The dark side of human nature. While society often celebrates our virtues and accomplishments, it's essential to acknowledge and understand the depths of our darker inclinations. From cruelty to selfishness, deceit to violence, these aspects of human nature have fascinated and repelled us throughout history. 1. Cruelty. One of the most unsettling facets of the dark side of human nature is our capacity for cruelty. History is marred by atrocities committed for power, ideology, or mere gratification. From the horrors of genocide to the brutality of war, humans have demonstrated an alarming propensity for inflicting suffering upon one another. Even in everyday life, instances of bullying, discrimination, and abuse reveal the disturbing extent of our capacity for cruelty. An example of cruelty is cyberbullying in schools. Implementing anti-bullying programs in schools that educate students about the harmful effects of cyberbullying, provide resources for victims, and promote a culture of respect and empathy among peers. Cruelty-specific solution. Implementing a comprehensive anti-bullying curriculum in schools that includes regular workshops and discussions on digital citizenship, online etiquette, and responsible use of social media platforms. Training sessions for teachers and staff on identifying signs of cyberbullying, intervening effectively, and providing support to victims. Establishing anonymous reporting systems and designated safe spaces where students can seek help confidentially. Collaborating with parents and caregivers to educate them about cyberbullying, and provide resources for monitoring their children's online activities and addressing any concerns. 2. Selfishness. Selfishness too resides within the murky depths of our psyche. The pursuit of self-interest, often at the expense of others, can manifest in various forms, from simple acts of greed to complex systems of exploitation. Whether hoarding resources, prioritizing personal gain over collective well-being, or neglecting the plight of the less fortunate, selfishness can corrode the bonds that hold society together, fostering inequality and discord. An example of selfishness is economic inequality. Introducing progressive taxation policies that redistribute wealth more equitably, fund social welfare programs, and provide opportunities for upward mobility, thereby addressing the systemic factors contributing to economic disparity. Selfishness-specific solution. Introducing targeted economic policies aimed at reducing wealth inequality, such as implementing a progressive tax system that imposes higher tax rates on high-income earners, and redistributes revenue towards social welfare programs, education, healthcare, and infrastructure development. Expanding access to affordable housing through initiatives such as rent control, affordable housing subsidies, and public housing construction projects. Increasing the minimum wage and implementing living wage ordinances to ensure that all workers earn a decent income that covers their basic needs and promotes financial stability. 3. Deception. Deception and manipulation are also prevalent features of the dark side of human nature. Weaving webs of lies, distorting truth, and exploiting trust for personal gain are tactics employed by individuals across cultures and contexts. Whether in politics, business, or personal relationships, deception can erode trust, sow discord, and undermine the fabric of society. An example of deception is corporate fraud. Enforcing stricter regulations and oversight mechanisms on financial institutions and corporations to prevent fraudulent practices such as insider trading, accounting fraud, and misleading advertising, thereby protecting consumers and investors. Deception-specific solution. Strengthening regulatory oversight and enforcement mechanisms to prevent corporate fraud, including enhancing auditing standards and requirements for publicly traded companies to ensure accuracy and transparency in financial reporting. Increasing the resources and authority of regulatory agencies such as the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, to investigate suspected cases of fraud and prosecute offenders. Implementing whistleblower protection programs that encourage employees to report fraudulent activities without fear of retaliation, and provide incentives for disclosing valuable information that leads to successful prosecutions. 4. Violence. Moreover, the propensity for violence lurks within the recesses of our psyche, ready to erupt under the right circumstances. While violence can serve as a means of self-defense or a response to perceived threats, it can also stem from deeper impulses rooted in anger, hatred, or a desire for dominance. From domestic abuse to organized crime, the specter of violence casts a long shadow over human interactions, leaving scars that may never fully heal. An example of violence is domestic abuse. Establishing comprehensive support services for victims of domestic violence, including shelters, counseling, legal aid, and community outreach programs, to empower survivors to break the cycle of abuse and seek justice and healing. Domestic abuse-specific solution. Establishing a comprehensive support system for victims of domestic violence, including funding and expanding access to emergency shelters and transitional housing for survivors and their children, with culturally sensitive services tailored to their specific needs. Providing free or low-cost legal assistance to help victims obtain restraining orders, navigate the court system, and access other legal protections. Offering trauma-informed counseling and support groups for survivors to address the emotional and psychological effects of abuse and develop coping strategies for healing and recovery. 5. Prejudice. Prejudice is a preconceived opinion or judgment about a person or group that is not based on reason or experience. It often involves holding negative stereotypes and discriminatory attitudes towards people based on characteristics such as race, ethnicity, gender, age, religion, sexual orientation, or other attributes. Prejudice can manifest in various forms, including 1. Racial prejudice, prejudging individuals based on their race or ethnicity. 2. Gender prejudice, holding biased views about individuals based on their gender. 3. Age prejudice, making assumptions about people based on their age. 4. Religious prejudice, having preconceived notions about individuals based on their religious beliefs. 5. Sexual orientation prejudice, judging people based on their sexual orientation. Prejudice can lead to discrimination, where individuals or groups are treated unfairly or unjustly based on these biased views. It is a significant social issue because it perpetuates inequality and can contribute to conflict and tension within societies. Overcoming prejudice involves education, awareness, and actively challenging and changing biased attitudes and behaviors. An example of prejudice is racial discrimination in hiring. Implementing affirmative action policies and diversity initiatives in workplaces and educational institutions to combat systemic racism, promote equal opportunity, and create more inclusive environments for people of all backgrounds. Prejudice-specific solution. Implementing diversity and inclusion initiatives in workplaces to address systemic racism and promote equal opportunity, such as implementing blind recruitment processes that remove identifying information such as names, genders, and ethnicities from job applications to minimize unconscious biases and ensure fair evaluation based solely on qualifications and merit. Establishing diversity training programs for hiring managers and staff to raise awareness of implicit biases. Promote inclusive hiring practices, and foster a culture of diversity and belonging. Partnering with community organizations and minority-serving institutions to recruit candidates from underrepresented backgrounds, and provide mentorship and support for their professional development and advancement. If you found value so far in this video, please give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe to support this channel. Please share across social media platforms to reach a wider audience. 6. Corruption. Corruption is the abuse of entrusted power for private gain. It involves dishonest or unethical conduct by individuals in positions of authority, often to achieve personal benefits at the expense of others or the public interest. Corruption can manifest in various forms, including 1. Bribery, offering, giving, receiving, or soliciting something of value to influence the actions of an official or other person in a position of power. 2. Embezzlement, misappropriation or theft of funds or resources entrusted to one's care, typically by an individual in a position of responsibility. 3. Fraud, deceptive practices intended to secure an unfair or unlawful gain, often involving falsification of documents, financial statements, or records. 4. Extortion. Obtaining money, goods, or services through coercion, threats, or force. 5. Nepotism and cronyism. Favoring relatives or friends, especially by giving them jobs or other advantages, regardless of their qualifications or merit. 6. Clientelism. A system where goods or services are exchanged for political support, often leading to preferential treatment and favoritism. Corruption undermines trust in public institutions, distorts markets, hampers economic development, and exacerbates inequality and social injustice. Combating corruption requires robust legal frameworks, transparency, accountability, and active civil society engagement. An example of corruption is political bribery. Strengthening anti-corruption laws, enhancing transparency measures, and establishing independent oversight bodies to investigate and prosecute instances of political corruption, ensuring accountability and integrity in governance. Political bribery-specific solution. Implementing anti-corruption measures and institutional reforms to increase transparency and accountability in governance, including enacting campaign finance reform to limit the influence of money in politics and prevent wealthy individuals and corporations from exerting undue influence on elected officials through political donations and lobbying. Strengthening anti-corruption laws and enforcement agencies to investigate and prosecute instances of bribery, kickbacks, and other forms of political corruption, with harsh penalties for offenders. Establishing independent ethics commissions and oversight bodies to monitor government activities. Conduct investigations, and hold public officials accountable for ethical breaches and conflicts of interest. 7. Aggression. Aggression is behavior intended to harm or injure another person, either physically or psychologically. It can be a response to frustration, provocation, or other negative stimuli, and it can manifest in various forms. 1. Physical aggression involves causing bodily harm to others through actions like hitting, kicking, or using weapons. 2. Verbal aggression includes behaviors such as yelling, insulting, or threatening others. 3. Relational aggression aims to damage someone's social relationships or status, often through gossiping, spreading rumors, or social exclusion. 4. Passive-aggressive behavior, indirectly expressing negative feelings or hostility through actions such as procrastination, sarcasm, or intentional inefficiency. 5. Hostile aggression, motivated by feelings of anger to cause pain or injury. 6. Instrumental aggression, used as a means to achieve a goal other than causing pain, such as gaining control or resources. Aggression can arise from a variety of factors, including biological influences, such as genetics or brain chemistry. Psychological factors, such as stress, frustration, or mental health issues, social and environmental influences, such as exposure to violence, cultural norms, or peer pressure. And learned behaviors, from observing aggressive role models or being rewarded for aggressive behavior. An example of aggression is gang violence. Investing in community-based violence prevention programs that offer at-risk youth alternatives to gang involvement, such as mentorship, job training, recreational activities, and conflict resolution skills, to address the root causes of violence and promote positive socialization. Gang violence-specific solution. Implementing holistic violence prevention programs targeting at-risk youth and communities affected by gang violence, including investing in community-based outreach and engagement initiatives that provide positive alternatives to gang involvement, such as mentorship programs, job training, recreational activities, and educational opportunities. Implementing evidence-based intervention strategies, such as cognitive behavioral therapy and conflict resolution training, to address the root causes of violence and equip individuals with the skills to resolve conflicts peacefully. Collaborating with law enforcement agencies, social service providers, schools, and community organizations to develop coordinated, multi-sectoral approaches that address the complex social, economic, and environmental factors contributing to gang violence. However, acknowledging the dark side of human nature does not mean succumbing to despair or resignation. Rather, it serves as a call to introspection and vigilance. By confronting our capacity for darkness, we can strive to cultivate empathy, compassion, and integrity, the antidotes to cruelty, selfishness, and deceit. Furthermore, understanding the roots of our darker inclinations can inform efforts to mitigate their effects. Through education, social reform, and the promotion of ethical principles, we can strive to create a world where the light of human goodness outshines the shadows of our darker impulses. In the end, the exploration of the dark side of human nature is not a journey for the faint of heart. It requires courage to confront the uncomfortable truths that lie within us and humility to recognize our capacity for darkness. Yet, it is only through this courageous self-examination that we can aspire to transcend the shadows and strive towards the light of our shared humanity. Several social reforms can be implemented to mitigate the effects of the dark side of human nature and promote a more compassionate and just society. Here are some examples. 1. Education for empathy and ethics. Introducing empathy and ethics education into school curricula can foster a greater understanding of the consequences of our actions on others. Teaching children from a young age to recognize and value the perspectives and feelings of others can help cultivate a more empathetic society. 2. Promotion of diversity and inclusion. Policies that actively promote diversity and inclusion in workplaces, educational institutions, and communities can help combat prejudice, discrimination, and marginalization. Embracing diversity not only fosters a sense of belonging but also challenges stereotypes and promotes tolerance and understanding. 3. Restorative justice programs. Implementing restorative justice programs as an alternative to traditional punitive approaches to crime can help address the root causes of harmful behavior. By focusing on repairing the harm caused to victims and communities and promoting accountability and rehabilitation for offenders, restorative justice programs offer a more holistic approach to addressing the consequences of crime. 4. Mental health support services. Investing in mental health support services and destigmatizing mental illness can help address the underlying issues that contribute to destructive behaviors such as violence, addiction, and self-harm. Accessible mental health resources, including counseling, therapy, and support groups, can provide individuals with the tools and support they need to address their struggles in healthier ways. 5. Community-based initiatives. Supporting community-based initiatives that promote social cohesion, mutual aid, and collective responsibility can strengthen social bonds and resilience against the negative effects of human nature. Community centers, neighborhood watch programs, and grassroots organizations can provide platforms for fostering solidarity, addressing local issues, and empowering individuals to create positive change in their communities. 6. Ethical leadership and governance. Promoting transparency, accountability, and ethical leadership in government, business, and other institutions can help mitigate corruption, exploitation, and abuse of power. Enforcing strict regulations, promoting whistleblower protections, and fostering a culture of integrity and honesty can help prevent the unchecked exercise of authority and promote fairness and justice for all members of society. 7. Conflict resolution and peacebuilding. Investing in conflict resolution and peacebuilding initiatives at local, national, and international levels can help prevent violence, resolve disputes, and build sustainable peace. Dialogue, mediation, and reconciliation efforts can offer constructive pathways for addressing grievances, building trust, and fostering cooperation between conflicting parties. By implementing these and other social reforms, societies can work towards mitigating the effects of the dark side of human nature and creating environments that nurture empathy, cooperation, and justice for all. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe to our channel for more self-improvement videos. Comment below to tell us how useful you found this video. Remember to share on various social media platforms to reach a wider audience. Click the notification bell to get notified anytime we post a new video. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video.